Gentleman that commented did it in a nice way, so I'm not going to be rude at all in this one. However, I am not an oracle nor a computer. I'm a human being that obsesses in thoughts and has a love for facts. So I intake a fuck ton of information my whole life. I do get wires crossed. I do not care about names. I don't care about labels, nor do I care about dates. So those things are probably not very accurate with me. Um, this is not a comment at that person that commented in any way, shape, or form. This is a generalization that was triggered by a thought from responding with that. So, what I want to say here is, again, I am not a leader. Do not follow me. I am somebody that is provoking thought. I'm not worried about how accurate I am in any way, shape, or form. These are all just things that have gone on in my head. This is why I have warning labels all over my stuff. I'm not emotionally right in the head. So I'm not worried about being completely perfect or anything like that. So if your brain is one of those brains that are going to correct me because you just have to, that's cool. That's fine. Like, as long as you do it in the way that gentleman did, you're cool. I might sound a little like, meh, but I'm not, as long as you're not being a dick. I engage on thoughts and thoughts. However, my thoughts are always going to be very, very jumpy. So even if I'm talking about one topic, I can very much switch to another topic. So if it's helpful for you guys to know, I don't stay in one label of things. So I like Marcus Aurelius in Stoicism, not Stoicism. I things like that. I don't think that all of the people that I made examples of as tyrants that we don't actually like, I don't think that they're stoic or philosophers or anything like that. I was pointing out that this idea that powerful, forceful people are admired in any way, shape, or form is just not the truth. Just because you can hold that idea in the time and place when you're forcing people to react and act with you a way to make your brain think a certain way doesn't necessarily mean that that's actually how they feel. And I was just pointing out that history actually reveals that no, that is not how they feel, that they are in fact always against that, because forcing people to do what you want is in fact a negative. The same as, I don't care if you think being a bad guy to a bad guy doesn't make you a bad guy. It does. So you can be an anti-hero and not be a bad guy. But when you start playing bad guy rules and doing bad guy things, you are a bad guy. Anti-heroes just don't play by the hero's rules. That doesn't mean that they play by the bad guy's rules. But these are also how I feel about things, not how everybody else has to feel about things. I'm not telling y'all how to feel. I'm provoking thought because people are triggered easy. And all I want people to do is think. And I don't care what they're thinking about, how they're thinking. I just want people to be thinking, because thinking is how we're going to get the world that I want, because we're all actually rational creatures, regardless of what people want to say and think. We just tend to be on opposite sides of the coin of thing. And so if you're on this side of the coin, you think the other side of the coin is bad. And if you're on that side of the coin, you think this side of the coin is bad. It just seems to be the way of things in this world. But to me, it's all a coin. So no good, no bad, just coin. So I don't play by the rules of everybody else because I don't think about things the same way everybody else does, which means I'm not interacting or doing any of these things the same way other people typically do them. I'm doing them my own way. And because there's no real way for you to understand that other than me to continuously give little caveats and, oh, hey, by the way, this happened, so let me explain this. That's really all I can do for you guys, because I'm not operating in the same principles of what people are used to. So this correction type thing is really just going to be the only way that I can be like, hey, yeah, this is what's actually happening in my head, because that's the only thing that I can actually be clear about. Thank you.